I'm here to read your story of the day. The story today is The Snail and the Whale by Julia Donaldson and Axel Scheffler. Right, I'm going to turn you a little bit so you can see better. Let's begin. Get yourself comfy. I wonder what's going to happen in this story. Let's have a see. So, The Snail and the Whale. This is a tale of a tiny snail and a great big grey-blue humpback whale. This is a rock as black as soot, and this is a snail with an itchy foot. The sea snail slithered all over the rock and gazed at the sea and the ships in the dock. And she gazed, she sniffed and sighed. Ah, the sea is deep and the world is wide. How I long to sail, said the tiny snail. These are the other snails in the flock, who all stuck tight to the smooth black rock, and said to the snail with the itchy foot, "Be quiet, don't wriggle, sit still, stay put." But the tiny sea snail sighed and sniffed, ah, then cried, "I've got it, I'll hitch a lift." This is the tale of the tiny snail, a silvery trail that looped and curled and said, "Lift wanted around the world." How did he write it? How did the tiny snail write the message? That's right, he used his slime to write it on the rock. Clever snail. This is the whale who came one night when the tide was high and the stars were bright. A humpback whale immensely long, who sang to the snail a wonderful song of shimmering ice and coral caves and shooting stars and enormous waves. And this is the tale of the humpback whale. He held it out of the starlit sea and said to the snail, "Come sail with me." There we go, that's better, you can see the words. What part of the whale is the snail getting onto? Its tail, well done. This is the sea, so wild and free, that carried the whale and the snail on his tail to towering icebergs and far-off lands. My goodness. I want you to quick fire tell me 3 things you can see in this page. I can see a whale. I can see some ice and icebergs. I can see some seals. I can see some penguins. We can see the snail. And we can see the sky. Right, let's carry on. With fiery mountains and golden sands. My goodness. Quick fire, 3 things you can see in that picture. Dolphins, the whale, the snail, the sea, rocks, they've called it fiery mountain. What do we call it? A volcano. Brilliant. trees, plants, a turtle, some flowers, a monkey. There's lots of things on there, and even a parrot, if you look closely. Let's carry on reading. These are the waves that arched and crashed, that foamed and frolicked and sprayed and splashed. The tiny snail on the tail of the whale. These are the caves beneath the waves, where stripy fish with feathery fins, and sharks with hideous toothy grins swam around the whale and the snail on his tail. Uh-oh. They look a bit scary, don't they? Oops. This is the sky, so vast and high, sometimes sunny and blue and warm, sometimes filled with a thunderstorm, with zigzag lightning, flashing and frightening the tiny snail on the tail of the whale. What's another word for frightening? Because it says the snail is frightened, what's another way we could describe that? Look at him, the poor snail. Ooh. He might be a little bit scared. And she gazed at the sea, the sky, the sea, the land, the waves and the caves and the golden sand. She gazed and gazed, amazed by it all, and she said to the whale, I feel so small. Why do you think the snail's feeling small? Because everything around her is extra big, isn't it? Not extra big, just bigger than her. But then came the day the whale lost his way. These are the speedboats racing a race, zigging and zooming all over the place, upsetting the whale with their ear-splitting roar, making him swim too close to the shore. This is the tide slipping away. Oh no. And this is the whale laying beached in a bay. Quick, off the sand, back to sea, cried the snail. I can't move on land, I'm too big, moaned the whale. The snail felt helpless and terribly small. Then, I've got it, she cried and started to crawl. I must not fail, said the tiny snail. What do you think? Have a predict. What is she going to do? What idea has the snail got? Let's have a little see. This is the bell on the school in the bay, ringing the children in from their play. This is the teacher holding her chalk, telling the class, sit straight and don't talk. This is the board as black as soot. And this is the snail with the itchy foot. A snail! A snail! The teacher turns pale. Look, said the children, it's leaving a trail. This is the trail of the tiny snail, a silvery trail saying, save the whale. So good job they had a blackboard, because then they could see its silvery trail. These are the children running from school, fetching the fireman and digging a pool. squirting and spraying to keep the whale cool. This is the tide coming into the bay, and these are the villagers shouting, "Hooray!" as the whale and the snail travel safely away. Back to the dock and the flock on the rock, who said, "How time has flown, and haven't you grown?" And the whale and the snail told their wonderful tale of shimmering eyes and coral caves and shooting stars and enormous waves, and of how the snail, so small and frail, with her looping, curling, silvery trail, saved the life of a humpback whale. Then the humpback whale held out his tail, and on crawled snail after snail after snail. Why are they all crawling on his tail? Because they want an adventure too. And they sang to the sea as they all set sail on the tail of the grey-blue humpback whale. The end. I hope you enjoyed that story. It's one of my favourites. I really enjoy it. Maybe you can draw a humpback whale or a snail, or maybe create an adventure for your snail to go on. See you next time.